The wealth secret banks won't tell you. The ancient rhythm. There is a rule about money that certain families have quietly passed down for over 3,000 years. It involves the number 7. And when I tell you what it is, you're going to understand exactly why some families build wealth that lasts for generations, while others work their entire lives and end up with almost nothing. The banks know about this pattern. Financial institutions have studied it, but nobody explains it to ordinary people. Today, I am going to change that. Let me ask you something honest. Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and wondered where it all went? You worked hard. You showed up every single day. You sacrificed your time, your rest, and your health. And yet, there is always more month left than money. Maybe you've tried budgeting. Maybe you've read the books and followed the experts on your screen, and still, something feels off. It feels like there is a leak somewhere in your financial life that you simply cannot find. Here is what I want you to know. It is not your fault. You were never taught the real rules. The rules that actually govern how money works, how it grows, how it stays, and how it multiplies across generations. There is a story of Diane about a woman named Diane. She worked 2 jobs for 15 years. She was a nurse by day and cleaned offices 3 nights a week. Diane was not lazy. She was not careless, but every time she managed to save a little, the emergency would arrive. The car would break down. The roof would leak. The money was running away from her. Meanwhile, she saw other families who didn't seem to work any harder than she did buying homes and building legacies. What did they know that she didn't? Most people say it's luck or unfair advantages. But the deeper truth is that there are ancient principles about cycles and wealth movement that have been preserved in Jewish tradition for 3 millennia. These are battle-tested strategies that have survived economic collapses and global exiles. At the heart of it all is the 777 rule. The first 7. The shield of sacred rest. The first 7 is about the cycle of work and rest. My grandmother came to this country with nothing but 2 suitcases and a few dollars sewn into the lining of her coat. Within 20 years, she owned her own building. When I asked her how she did it, she said, "The secret is not in how hard you work. The secret is in when you stop." In the book of Exodus, the command is simple. 6 days you shall labor, but the 7th is a Sabbath. Most people see this as a religious rule. My grandmother saw it as a financial strategy. When you work 7 days a week without stopping, you lose perspective. You make desperate decisions. You say yes to bad deals because you're too exhausted to see the red flags. You spend money just to comfort your burnout. The first 7 is this. Work in cycles of 6 and 1. 6 days of focused, intentional effort. 1 day of complete, sacred rest. This rest allows you to step back, review your finances, and navigate your life rather than just drifting through it. If you are working 7 days a week right now, you aren't getting ahead. You're just burning fuel without a map. The second 7. The power of the release. The second 7 is even more powerful, and almost nobody talks about it openly. It's based on the Shemitah cycle. In ancient tradition, at the end of every 7 years, debts were forgiven and the financial slate was wiped clean. Banks do not want you thinking about this because the modern system is built to keep you in debt forever. But wealth isn't just about what you make. It's about what you release. I knew an investor named David who was $2 million in debt after the 2008 crash. He was paralyzed by the weight of it. His mentor told him, "David, you are in a Shemitah year. This is not a punishment. This is a release. Every 7 units of time, whether that's 7 months or 7 years. You must conduct a full audit of your financial life. You must release the deals that are draining you, the investments losing money out of pride, and the subscriptions piled up like barnacles on a ship. David made a list of every obligation and asked one question. If I were starting fresh today, would I sign up for this again? Everything that got a no, he released. Within 5 years, he rebuilt his entire portfolio, this time with 0 debt. The third 7. The generational loop. The third 7 is about an ancient practice called ma'aser, the tithe, but with a strategic twist. It's based on Jacob, who promised to give 1/10 of everything back to the source. But look at when he made that promise. He was sleeping on the ground with a stone for a pillow. He had nothing. This is the secret. You don't give because you have a surplus. You give to create the flow. In the 7-7-7 rule, this means taking 7% of every single paycheck and giving it away first. Before the rent. Before the bills. Before anything else. I knew a widow named Ruth who lived on a tiny pension. Despite the worries of everyone around her, she gave to charity every single month without fail. She used to say, "I cannot afford not to give." Ruth lived to 93, never went hungry, and her small savings grew steadily because she understood that money managed wisely and circulated generously grows in ways that defy ordinary logic. In conclusion, choosing the rhythm. When you bring these 3 together, the real power becomes clear. The first 7. Rest every 7th day so your mind stays sharp and your decisions stay wise. The second 7. Every 7th cycle. Review your life and release the weight of debt obligations. The third 7. Give 7% of everything you receive before you do anything else to open a channel of prosperity that no recession can close. Rest. Release. Give. This is the rhythm of creation itself. Money you grip too tightly eventually suffocates. Money you manage, release, and circulate grows. This is what generational wealth truly means. It is not just the money you leave behind. It is the wisdom you pass down. Your season of struggle does not have to continue. The pattern can change, but it requires you to follow a different rhythm. The rhythm of 7. If this touched you today, I want you to do 2 things. First, write the words, "I choose the rhythm of 7" in the comments. Declare it. Make it real. Second, share this with one person who works hard but can't seem to get ahead. You might be the one who changes their entire course. Trust the rhythm. Rest. Release. Give. And watch what happens next. This is the Affluent Strategist.